Hello, this is for final oral assignment of the University Success. I'm just conducting my upload of the video onto YouTube. So, number one, the three things that stuck out to me while in University Success were really first, the impact that it's had on my spiritual life. I didn't really expect to have so much improvement in this area in a class that I figured would just improve my writing skills or teach me about the university as a whole. Secondly, I would say it was really to get my eyes opened on all of the tools available to me as a student. I wasn't, I guess, aware, even though I may have been told. Just learning it at a slower pace really helped me to grasp all of the resources that we have at our fingertips. Some of those resources that have really stuck in my mind are the writing coaches, for example, the ability to send over your paper and have an expert take a look at it and give you tips on how to improve your paper. Knowing that there are labs always available for us at both campuses. And then another thing to that second point of mine would be with the new modal, specifically having access to all of the office software, even if you are at a computer that does not have that software. That was really great to know about. Um, let's see, a third thing would be when we went over the learning styles. It's really drastically helped me to understand my own processes of learning. I was not very aware of even that there was such a thing. I knew that certain people did have different styles of learning, but as far as identifying what those different styles were, that was very unknown to me. And I really found myself within those teachings, what kind of style of learner that I am. It's really helped me to understand even those around me. Now I know, with certain people, there's identifying factors that I can um, take note of while speaking with them, and there are some that I know that are auditory learners. Others that I've come to know that are um, visual, and so it has helped me in my style of communication with those people. So, in the next step, number two, when it comes to my self improvement plan, there's three areas that I really am going to be working on and am actively working on now. The first being negative thinking, the second, time management, and the third being motivation. So, when it comes to my negative thinking, my action plan would be just to really trust that without Jesus, I can't control this. I listed that in my paper because being a professional, I'm tasked daily to take control of things. But when it comes to my negative thinking, I may at times put that mindset on, and it's really a failing type of strategy because when it comes to my mind, it's a losing battle for me. I'm not able to control those kinds of things if I'm not truly surrendering to the fact that without the Lord, I'm not able to do it. Number two would be that I have sort of played a passive role when it comes to my negative thinking, more of like, complaining of why I'm thinking these things. I can be pretty critical of myself, but I've been motivated to make war on my negative thinking, and really just matching those thoughts with a corresponding constructive thought or action. So, what does that look like? What that would look like for me is if I have a negative thought, I have resolved to not avoid it any longer, but to confront it and truly try to make an attempt at disassembling its worth with the positive side of whatever circumstance is causing that negative thinking. So, for my second area of improvement, time management, my action plan here is making a conscious decision to confront the chaos of finding time for all of life's activities. I'm a mom, I have a full time job, going to school, then there's church life, and it can get very chaotic. At times, I do feel like I'm not sure where to start, where to stop, where to go next. And a big issue that I've had is that instead of conquering these feelings and finding a resolution, I can feel overwhelmed and will avoid it. And so with the course, I've been able to systematically learn a process of conquering such a giant in my life, like time management. So my action plan is yes, just making that conscious decision to confront that chaos, rather than running and wanting to move to Mexico. I'm actively organizing my calendar with color coded levels of importance. Those more intense colors are areas where they're basically on my calendar because they are on a need basis, so I'm not able to move those. And I think in the past I made more of emotional decisions rather than mental decisions. And so with this new color coded way of doing it, I know that my mind and my decisions between my family and I, we've decided these red color coded areas are areas that as a whole, this is what I really want and it's for my future. I can add that school was not always one of the red ones. It's really shifted the style of what is my priority. And so school being a priority now is definitely one of the red ones. So I can say it's a work in progress, and it's definitely started to make progress. The third place of where I would be working on myself is motivation. And my action plan here, it's more of an emotional area. Motivation for me, I just tend to kind of get overwhelmed, like I mentioned, in the time management area. And so my resolution, that is one that always works, is talking to my husband. I'm so happy to be married to my husband. He's a very wise man who loves me and gives me so much encouragement, and he's actually a big motivator to why I'm coming to school. He knew it was something I wanted to do and really helped to light the fire under me to come back and get it done. And so along with talking to him, I have made weekly formal meetings with him. And so we sort of make it like a date night where it's just all about me that day, which can sound kind of selfish, but with the load that I'm taking, he really has created an environment, us working together to make this night that we do meet to talk about motivation, to go over things that are making me feel overwhelmed. And we pray about it. He also gives me strategies on how to push through, or where he can help. If, say, I was very tired because I'm having to cook, he will cook. So we're ironing out all these issues that are causing me to feel a lack of motivation. And so then just reaffirming my intentions daily. That would be my second way in my plan of correcting this motivation issue I've had. I learned this from Davis, and I'm trying to cite correctly, 2012, page 33 of the Adult Learner's Companion. The simple advice has worked wonders for me. It truly has. I can lose focus easily in the everyday. So really just making a conscious effort of reaffirming my intentions daily. And so by doing that, even when I'm not feeling a dip in motivation, it's really helped me to maintain a sharpness. And so it prevents me from having those dips. And so that's what I've been doing. For today, my oral presentation strategy that I'm implementing is the practice, practice, practice. I played this video for myself and listened for areas that I could improve, and I also used the posture strategy. I normally have posture issues being at my desk every day, and so while doing the first few rounds of this interview presentation, I have bad posture and I'm kind of leaning over. And I've noticed that getting nervous to do this assignment, the posture really was affecting my breathing, and it looked kind of weird. And so I'm using that. I'm trying my hardest to maintain my posture, make sure I'm breathing, and definitely the practice. Well, I hope that you enjoyed my oral presentation, and it's been great. Thank you for the class.